And where's the storage facility located?
It's on 16th Street, I believe. It's 252 16th Street in downtown San Diego. Mm-hmm.
Nice. And that's people just kind of will bring whatever they have, their backpacks, their blankets, their belongings, and they can just store them there.
Yeah, and they're sentimental items, right? I think a lot of the times people forget about that. Like, imagine, there's already the stigma on homelessness, right? Now imagine having to carry everything on your back every single place you go. It prevents them from like going to employment opportunities, right? Because of the stigma that's associated. It prevents them from going to their doctor's appointments, from getting on public transportation because there's a limit on how many bags you can carry on the trolley, right? So this storage facility, it allows folks to store their belongings so they can take the next step in their lives, right? And so it's whatever they can fit. There's no time restriction on how long they can use our storage facility. Okay. That's one important thing that we are really proud to provide, is because a lot of the programs have a time limit, right? Like, you've got 6 months to get it together. And so we found that if you remove that barrier, if you remove that time restriction, people don't feel that weight, right, of their time running out. Right. And so people are more than happy to transition their storage locker or their bin to the next person in need as soon as they don't need it anymore. And so currently we have a wait list, but the way our wait list works is a little bit different. If you physically go down to the storage facility and check in more, you get bumped up on the wait list because it shows like more of a need for you, and you can get in more quickly that way. So
that's great. That's awesome. It's the little things, right?
Mm-hmm. Those are big things. How many storage units are there?
400.
And there's a wait list. What does that tell us, right? There's about 8,000 people who are experiencing homeless in our county. Yep. There's still a wait list, and they have 400 bins or whatnot available. And even with shelters, 8,000 people are experiencing homelessness. We have about 3 bed shelters and I think a couple other women's shelters. So the need is great, and there's simply not enough beds. Right. So back to her point, if you're, what would you call it, crime of life-sustaining crime of poverty or life-sustaining activities. Where can you possibly go if there's no beds available? There's no place for you to leave your belongings.
And now you have a criminal record.
And now you have a criminal record. Where can you go?
Right.
Like, where can you be? So where they're gonna be is in our backyards. They're gonna be in our canyons. They're gonna be in our neighborhoods, which is what we're seeing. And a lot of residents, folks in the community, don't want to see people camping out in front of their front yard, which is very valid. It's very fair. I don't want anyone urinating on the sidewalk, or if I'm taking my kids to school in the morning, seeing all like the defecation and things like that. Then we need to think bigger than that. What can we do to practically address the issue? One of the biggest challenges that we have is just lack of affordable housing. I grew up in San Diego. I don't know if you guys are native San Diegans, and I've seen what's happened with rent in San Diego is out of control. People who are working can't even afford to live here. I have coworkers who are doubling up with roommates, and they have their college graduated, have full-time jobs, have benefits, still can't afford to live here. Now let's just walk through like what it looks like for people that we're serving. Oftentimes a lot of them are living on limited fixed incomes, so Social Security benefits or retirement, and let's say they get about $900 a month. The average one bedroom in San Diego is about $1,400 a month. If you're lucky enough that you get subsidized because you qualify for that subsidy, say like a Section 8 voucher, things like that, or you meet criteria for that, then you pay 30% of your rent. That could be sustainable. What about everybody else? Where do they go?
Right.
Where can they possibly live? So for your listeners, a good solution around that is when you're hearing affordable housing complexes being proposed to be built in your backyard or in your neighborhoods, not hitting us up with that NIMBYism.
Right.
That's a critical one, right? Like, people don't want to see homelessness in their community, then they have to, the behaviors and the attitudes around it have to change. We have to shift out of that thinking. We have to, if anything, promote and ask for more affordable housings in our neighborhood so we can truly tackle and address the issue.
Right.